Hello, it's Michelle from Pisces Pixie here, and today I'm going to show you how I make some of my thigh highs. This pair in particular is going to be the Not Your Average Peahen, which I made for one of my best friends several years ago, and the colorway is just one that a lot of my customers really like. Now I'm going to show you the process that I take to tie up just one of these socks. So I start with thigh-high socks like this. Okay, I start from the bottom, and one thing that I always do is I make sure to flip the sock to the opposite heel from the top, from the other one, because I like for my socks to have, they don't look exactly the same in the front and back. It just depends on which ones I'm doing though. So I take it and I go about an inch for my first fold, and I make every single pleat about an inch apart, like this, making sure to keep them lined up, making sure the bottom is going to be touching so that you can see that it's also lining up. And I just keep grabbing and pulling in. Making sure to keep them even as I go. Now, one of my secrets, maybe it's not a secret to others, but this is something I just kind of started doing on my own. I use nylon thread to hold these together because I want the dye to be able to penetrate into the sock. So I take my thread, slide it under, and then I start to wrap, pulling the thread around and under several times. I want to be able to make it to where if I pick up the sock, it's gonna stay folded, not pulling too tight. If you pull too tight, well, actually, you really can't pull too tight with this thread, to be honest with you. But if you're using sinew, you can. And then you have some, with the particular one I'm making, I don't want white lines in my socks. So that feels good. I feel like it's nice and tight. It's starting to fold up a little bit right here, so I'm gonna push that down, and then I'm gonna also push my sock in. Now with this, I can break it because it's nice and thin. I don't need scissors. I'm gonna tie my ends. Pretty even. You can see that they're not, all of them are just about the same in height. Okay, now that I have finished folding both of my socks, I'm ready to begin applying the dye. So I'm going to draw some lines to mark where I want my colors. And I'm going to do ice dye one side of these socks because the way that I have this one set up is that I do two different processes in which I will lay the dye and put the dye ice on, and then I'll flip and do the same on the back using different colors. But again, that all depends on what colorway or colors you're choosing to use. And this is the way that I do this particular pair. And now it's time to apply the ice. So I have my dye applied to the top of the socks, and I've put an enclosure around to keep the ice inside. And I'm just going to go ahead and start adding ice. So take a look. And I'm just going to keep adding ice until it's completely covered. And then I'm going to wait until it melts through, and then we're going to flip it and do it again. Now I'm going to flip and apply dye to the other side. Now that all my ice is melted.